Sup, Red Daniel here. So, in my previous video, I talked about some of my interests, manga, comics, games, my whack taste in food, etc. However, there's one thing that I really like that I forgot to mention, and that is liminal spaces. I don't know exactly what it is about liminal spaces that makes me like it, but it's just interesting to look at. I think the one thing that really gets me and many other people hooked on the images and other media in the world of liminal spaces is two things: nostalgia and horror. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gone down a school corridor that should be filled with children and teachers walking around but was empty, or been walking somewhere that usually when you've walked down there before it was filled with people, cars, and noises, and then that day it was just empty, with the only thing still there being the noises of people and cars nearby, but not exactly where you are, maybe seeing the occasional person. In both these examples, you would probably feel kind of uneasy, because these places, while yes, it's not unnormal for no one to be in these places, it still doesn't feel right for a lot of us. With the first one, you'd usually expect there to be lots of people walking around, not emptiness. It's also something that usually leaves you with a feeling of nostalgia. Even images of places that you've never been before, but can leave you with a feeling like you've been here before somewhere in your past, or at least somewhere similar. I should probably give an example. You've never been here before, and yet you probably still feel nostalgic looking at it. That's because while you haven't been to this exact place, you've probably been somewhere similar, whether that be a gas station, a play place, a shopping mall, or a similar looking hallway to one you've been down before. And I think that's one of the main reasons why stuff like liminal spaces have popped off in recent years, and partially why I like them so much. Especially the more abstract images, or the ones that, while are obviously Photoshop, most likely still give you a sense of nostalgia. That's why it's fun for me and for other people, I'm sure, to look at these images and other media that uses liminal spaces, specifically horror-related stuff. Insert excuse to talk about Kane Pixels.
A little more. You got it?
Yeah.
Whoa!
So yeah, this video was made mainly so I could talk about Kane Pixel's Backrooms series, sort of, and his other liminal space works, sort of. Now, if you don't know who Kane Pixels is, then go watch his channel because you're really missing out. But in case you don't want to do that, then I'll explain. Kane Pixels is a YouTuber who makes really great horror stuff that you might have heard of before. Like the Backrooms, The Oldest View, People Still Live Here, Attack on Titans, found footage, just to name a few. But okay, I'm not actually going to talk about Kane and his work specifically. And to be honest, I just wanted an excuse to talk about Kane Pixels because I'm going to be seeing his new movie with my friends. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, if you've looked into liminal spaces before, you probably know that while they are predominantly popular because of that weird sense of nostalgia I mentioned before, Most of the time, there does also seem to be a lot more horror-based stuff surrounding liminal spaces. And you know, it makes sense. There's a specific feeling you get from just looking at some of these images where you wonder about why it's so empty or where did everyone go. So it doesn't seem that surprising when people add monsters and stuff to liminal spaces. The most popular example being the backrooms, which in my opinion, there's way too much stuff that's been added to the original idea, monsters, levels, etc., to really get invested with the original thing, for me at least. That's not to say it's bad that people are expanding on the backrooms, I just don't think that's where the horror of it came from, and I think no one else knew that better than Kane. Because while yes, there is still monsters in his version, they're not the focus. The actual backrooms is, and that's what I like about it, because I think the horror of liminal spaces isn't monsters, it's the fact that places like the backrooms can exist, and that there are things inside it, or at least you think there is, and I think it's also that if you find your way here, that there's no real chance of you getting out. I just realized only now that I just made this video mainly to rant about the backrooms. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you liked this short video. I just wanted to put something out before watching the Backrooms movie because I do really like liminal spaces, and I am probably gonna make a review on the Backrooms movie soon when I see it. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video. Thanks to all the people who've subscribed and watched my latest video. It's appreciated. And yeah, see you next time.
Recycle me cool original taste.